How's it going, Chargers fans? This is Kyle Diedman-Cantano and Ryan Watkins with the Powder Keg Podcast. Today we're going to do a dual mock, a battle of mocks. We're going to go ahead and explore what it looks like if the Chargers stay at 5 and if they do decide to explore trade down options and trade back with a team you'll probably guess because it's one that's being talked about a lot right now. And then at the end, we'll compare the two and see how we feel about these two options. So, Ryan, going into this, how do you feel about the two different options? Where do you think you're leaning without seeing how the board has played out so far?
Oof. It's tough to say, isn't it? First of all, I'm going to give you a little cheers from across the pond. So
Cheers,
there you are.
man.
There you go.
And we should recognize too, Ryan. Hey, this is our first time doing a pod together. We've just been bouncing across on videos, so part of I need to be a better host and say, hey, cheers to us, man. This is fun starting this podcast with you, and I'm really stoked 100%. to be going through this, man. This is awesome.
And I like our contrasting accents. It's going to be fun. I hope everyone can understand me in my podcast. And if I use any wrong colloquialisms or terms, you got to let me know, bro.
Well, it's going to be great as we film different ones. You can see a little bit of light poking in through my curtains. You look like you're in the dark right now with some lighting. Other times you're going to be probably in broad daylight and I'm going to be, under just in the dark. So it's funny trying to do this across the globe.
Man. You never sleep anyway. I get texts from this guy at all hours.
So go ahead, Ryan. What do you think between the two options?
For me, the way that everything's changed over the last couple of months, since the combine, all the JJ McCarthy talk has thrown everyone up, and like the Daniels, he surged up the board and it's looking like 4 quarterbacks going to go early. It kind of gets you excited. I never thought Marvin Harrison Jr. would be in play. I've got some buddies who have been doing the film stuff a lot longer than I have. One of them is an insomniac and watches probably 16 hours film a day. It's genuinely mad. He said that Marvin Harrison Jr. is the best prospect he's ever scouted, and I'm not far behind him in that. And to have that guy fall to you, it's going to take a lot of change to pass up on that, in my opinion. I don't know. If I could say no to such a insane prospect, but at the same time, Harbor's the team. And he's worked on many teams that haven't had star players, and he's had a lot of success doing that. So it's you can see the value in both. I know it's so exciting to be in this position. Pick 7, pick 5, yeah, hell yeah. It's the first time we've been here in a long time.
Oh yeah. And hey, last time we were this close, we had a pretty good pick with Justin Herbert. So that's pretty exciting too. And you've got to think that is something that goes into other teams' minds. Just because it's the 3rd or 4th quarterback off the board in a very talented class, it doesn't mean it's not going to be one of the more talented quarterbacks when everything's said and done. Tom Telesco was an interesting one when he drafted Herbert. Personally, I thought it was a terrible process, but he said that they liked the 3 quarterbacks on the board, so they were okay with just sitting. And I was like, granted, I was wrong.
I mean, I think a lot of us were wrong. I've publicly been very, very aware of how wrong I was. But, Tom Telesco, the quarterback guru, he's been labeled as now. So, yeah, he can find them.
That's a whole other topic. Personally, right now, if you were to ask me a month ago, Ryan, or 6 weeks ago, before the start of free agency, which I guess really just a couple weeks ago, but man, that's a lot that's happened in that time.
It feels like so much time has passed.
Yeah, that's wild. A couple life changes thrown in there too. We'll get to that another time. But just 3 or 4 weeks ago, to have a roster where it was, I thought we had to trade down. I didn't think there was an option because we had so many holes. And really, Ortiz has done such a good job of filling this roster out with serviceable talent. I'm not saying, we're not talking about, all pros or pro bowlers or guys that are going to be above average at their position in a lot of places, but just guys that are going to come in and do a yeoman's job and fill holes at a starting level quality that hasn't affected our comp formula as well. All of a sudden,
formula and cost, he's done so well.
Yep.
That's your bag. You've been a happy man.
It's been a very fun off season for me. I'm like this is so cool watching it unfold. This is everything I was wishing Tom would do, and Joe is executing it to perfection. So that's really freaking neat, man. But so let's go ahead. Let's dive in. Let's start. First, I think the right thing to do is let's zoom in a little bit, make it more exciting. But I think the right thing to do, man, is do the standard one first. Let's just do draft board as we see it, starting at 5. After we pick at 5, because that's the real debate, what do we do at 5? From there, we'll open it up to do we want to trade down in another round? And we'll just see what happens. So
let's go.
Here we go. You ready? Actually, that's
excited, man.
It's giving me anxiety being that close, but I think people will be able to see the screen right here. So here we go.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, so let's start the draft. Oh my god. Okay. We have a happy man in Ryan, I think. So we're staying put. You get to decide. We're passing it to you, man. Who do you want to pick?
You know where we're going, right? We're going Joe. Oh no. Oh my god.
We need to build that line for Harbaugh.
Oh, hey, there are probably 2 picks that would piss me off at this position. One of them is Malik Neighbors. I can talk about that now or another time, or just ask me on Twitter. I've got 1,000 words for you about him. And the other one is Joel, but not because he's the wrong prospect, because just switching sides just makes no sense to me when we can trade down and get a real right tackle in one of the best tackle classes of all time. Like in terms of just pure talent and variety, you got it all. So trade down if you're going to take a tackle. So anyway, let's go ahead and book in probably the best receiver that out of college that I've ever scouted. In fact, he's the best that I've charted. And I just don't see how he can miss. That's what I mean. At 5, you're looking at and can't miss prospect. He won't miss. It's just whether the team misses him. That's about as if Greg Roman can't get on the ball, then maybe he shouldn't be in the position that he's going to be in. That's how I feel about Marvin Harrison Jr. So let's just book him in. Let's prosper.
Let's do it. Now it's interesting that Arizona went with Neighbors. I mean, that doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. Anything can happen with those picks. I like
the randoms there. You got the randomness a little bit up, I'm assuming.
I ticked it 1 up, not much, and I ticked positional value 1 up. Just because I feel like those are more representative of how drafts normally work out. But if Marvin wasn't here, Ryan, and you were forced to pick, because Marvin's such an easy one, and I want to give you the chance to kind of talk about your scouting process and who else you really like besides somebody that most people are going to mock right now. Assuming Marvin did go 4, you said no Neighbors. So who's next?
If you assume that Marvin is going to go 4, then for me, we didn't have any offers on the table that were good enough to trade down, because in my mind, it's Marvin Harrison Jr. trade down. Like we're up here, and then everything else is slightly down here. But in any other draft class, Rome Odunze would be the number 1 receiver. I don't think there should be any question about that. He is an all-round receiver. There was a coach who played against him in the Athletic of the Year, like unnamed coach. He said that every time they put on the film, like Rome Odunze did, change what they saw every single time. They called him an 85-15 height, jump ball guy, but so he's Mike Williams, when he was at Clemson. But he's also Keenan Allen in that he's one of the crispest route runners you will see. His catch rate is insane. He's surprisingly quick. He doesn't look it when he's on tape. I feel like he just glides and it deceives people. And he's also a great run blocker, great teammate. I can't say enough about Roman Dunze and any other class who'd be number one. So receiver on the board, you take that here, in my opinion. I really like Brock Bowers. Tight end positional value is one thing that I wouldn't take him this high. And the other is the fact that I feel like the whole point of playing out of 13 personnel is that you don't have one star tight end on your roster. So he's great. He's a very good player, but top 5 would be a stretch, even if he was, the best tight end that I've ever scouted. That's kind of how positional value works. I mean, you're all about value, like in terms of if you didn't have to trade down, I'd love to know what you would do here.
Oh man, well, so you made a really good point with Joe Alt. I'm not as concerned about him moving from left to right as I am that loss of value you talked about. I don't like looking at a generational class. Like if tackle is really a generational class here, that doesn't always indicate, even though we have that with this wide receiver class and Marvin Harrison, just because it's a generational class doesn't mean the top end of the talent is, generational. It means that there's a lot of very, very good picks. It doesn't necessarily mean that one has differentiated himself greatly amongst the rest. And I haven't scouted Alt as heavily, even though I watched Notre Dame with my wife, but in terms of like individually breaking him down, from what I've seen, I don't see a strong enough reason to turn down the surplus value that we would get if we did decide to trade down, like you said, and pick up one of the guys that's a natural right tackle. It just seems like it's such a heavy tackle class. It would almost be foolish to go with a Joe Alt. At the same time, if Harbaugh does say, like, I've seen this guy's a generational talent, I see what I want to do with him, Greg Roman sees what he wants to do with him, I'm not gonna puke over it. Maybe if Marvin Harrison's on the board, but then I'm thinking about losing Brock, losing Marvin, losing Rome. It'd be a bummer, especially when I think you could trade back. You could even then trade back, use your trade back surplus value to trade back up and try to get a combination of these guys. You
get so much value doing that.
I mean, if you could pick up a Brock or a Rome, or even if they're both in that 10 to 11 range, getting a Brock and a Rome would be incredible. Or a Brock and I know you've seen me do it a couple times, Fuaga type guy. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, get a guy that's going to plant a dude on his rear every play and Brock next to him. Like, I don't know. That's where my head goes. But hey, we'll get there. Right now, we've got Marvin. We're done. That's round 1. We got Marvin. Life's good. So now we're at pick 37. We've got. That is a very. I am very well aware of my faults, and one of the many faults is being able to say names. Sandstristel? I really like Mike. I don't know how to say his name.
No, he's an absolute quality player. I should look up the phonetic pronunciation of it because I think I've called him Henry still on other pods. So
that sounds right. It's better than what I just did. So here, I know that center is something that I've been harping on since before last year when Lindsley went down, not last year, but the year before, and all of a sudden Will Clapp comes in and both guard positions just deteriorate. I've really wanted us to have a center of the future in mind. And here we are. We didn't have one that we picked up last year. Lindsley went down, had a terrible year for our offensive line, partially because of that. And now we do with those we have future. So unless Harbaugh isn't blowing smoke up all of our asses, and McFadden really is a potential guy. That said, Frazier's got a great build. I love wrestlers at the offensive line position. I love these options at cornerback. Even Fisk at the interior defensive lineman has a lot of noise. Roman Wilson at wide receiver, but we already went wide receiver. So what are you thinking here, Ryan? What would you want to do with this type of board?
Right, let's go to the top, and I'll talk you through like sort of what was going to affect my strategy here. So first of all, I love Tyler Nubin, again, another two-way surname we're gonna mess up. However, his game is so much like Derwin's. Like it'll be like having two Derwins on the field is like it's fantastic, but is it value?
Mhm.
Like not for me. He's my number one safety by quite a distance. But Fraser, again, we need a center to start. We absolutely need one. I'd love to know if we go on a filter how many like centers there are left on the board and how many went in for affect my decision.
Hey,
But
Ryan, just to go back to what were you saying? What you were saying? What you were saying about Tyler's interesting because on our pod you've pointed out that we do need three safeties. And you say Derwin's going to fill the kind of role that Newman would fill if he were drafted. So what kind of safety should we be on the lookout for right now?
So in the three safety system, you've basically got the guy at the top, which is a traditional free safety. You've got to have a lot of range. I feel like Gilman can play that. However, he's better down in the apex, and same with Derwin. So for me, you've got the two apex, the two channels up and down, inside the center, inside the cornerbacks, outside the linebackers. Minter loves to have those channels protected, whereas before, like most defenses sort of just flow between them, send guys left and right. He likes to have those identified from the beginning. So the fact that you have those two safety profiles in Derwin and Alohi already there, you want someone who can be more a center fielder. Tyler could do that, but it's not to the best visibility. You want him nearer the ball. So you want someone with like length and range, who also, and this is going to be a staple for any safety in this whole class, is the fact that they have to be able to fly downhill without fear. There can't be anything. So there's guys later in the class that you could take who could do that a bit better. To be honest, it's not a great safety class overall. So that's why Tyler being so high. If he was a bit lower, I'd consider him because of the need, but not at the top of the second for me. If we go through the other options, so we'll talk about like wider strategy. TJ Champer's a really nice corner, pretty raw. Iowa State, not exactly a staple of the secondary, but they don't exactly provide a lot to the league. So Henry still it's kind of hard to pass up in this position. Fisk is he's a really athletic dude, like just super explosive. For me, the biggest one that's tempting me is Ennis Rakestraw Jr. People have I don't understand why. I think it's maybe if his athletics testing wasn't the best. I feel like his RAS score was pretty terrible. I've got it in front of me if I look for it in a second. But he is probably the most natural outside corner in terms of his footwork and his ability to match. I feel like he can take a number one and just like keep him off like as much as you want. Minter's system doesn't exactly need that, but it's really good to have someone that can, especially when you go against unbalanced formations. Roman Wilson, super fun player. Again, I feel like I try so hard not to be Michigan biased. But when we're looking at like how it's going to translate, but it's so difficult because it's just so well coached. Everyone is just super explosive and so keyed in. But for me, there is a button right at the top, at the very very top.
Let's see what they have to say.
Because Bo Nix is on the board. That's why.
That's a brutal one though. It's only Vikings, and the closest they have is 108. So
it's got to be future.
We'd have to.
Yeah.
It's got to be future. And we're looking at that we could work out. I mean, I would want here. Let's see if we could. We'd probably want something like that at least.
Take 108 off. And
You don't want 108? I think we need 108
no.
at least.
Okay,
right?
Because you got the round one next year, I thought that was a bit kind of aligned. Okay.
So we would be offering 37 and our third to get 108, 107, and their next year's round one. So just to be transparent, the only way I would be making this trade is if I'm trading back into the second very quickly.
I really, we talked about that strategy up and down the board.
Yeah. So I would, and I'd probably do it, Ryan. And this is something that we didn't talk about before we got started on this. But I really like what Joe has done with gaining basically 3 to 4. It's looking like 4 compensatory picks next year, even though they're not in the higher rounds. I would personally be pretty comfortable with us trading some of those future picks to get back into this very talented draft class and have additional day 2 picks where possible. Because I think with Harbaugh needing to overhaul this thing, and with the hope that we do have a better year than people are predicting with him coaching, and with us coming off of a very down year, maybe there's a little bit of a overestimation on where our first rounder might be next year or our second rounder. Could we get a little bit of surplus value by trading our future picks and getting some of these studs now, maximizing this window that we have with Harbaugh, where he has very intimate knowledge of the college scene? So what do you think about that kind of opportunity, like trading with these future picks?
I think that's a really smart strategy. Like you said, if you already have those booked in, they're already in there, then use them. You got to use them. Let's be honest. Unless you're trying to fill out a special teams roster, there is no point in having 4 6s and a couple of 7s. That doesn't help. Anyone but Ryan Fick. You're not going to find starters down that deep very often. So I think let's do it and let's get back into the second. But we just got to be careful as to where we want to jump in. So
I'm going to go ahead and move the speed down just to make sure we. Okay, so they took it. I'm going to look right away. Where do you think, based on what you saw?
So what do we have now? So we've got
pause it.
So we've got 108, 129, 157. Oh, sorry, 69, 105, 107.
So Tampa just got picked. Well, you know what's funny? Right before our pick, Kool-Aid got picked at 36.
Yeah, that's
interesting. That would have been a cool pick.
That would have been. I really don't get the slide on him. I feel like it's mock draft fatigue, but people look at the tape and see 2 corners, one that's explosive, making big plays, making big hits. Sort of the Alabama tape. You're looking at 2 corners. However, if you understand Saban's system, it's the quiet guy you want to look at. The guy who's not getting targets, who is on there. He's the MOD, man on demand corner in their cover 7 system, which means in the 3x1 on balance, he's just locking up that guy, making sure that he sends him inside to the help and just puts a lid on him. To do that and to have no targets is so much better than having 5 interceptions and 17 passes defended like Terry Arnold did.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on those numbers. That's top of the head. So for me, I feel like he is worth. He's got great value right now for us at 37. Yeah. Because if he gets there, that's an extra first rounder in my opinion. Because of everyone getting in their own head and not understanding what tape is showing you. Don't look for the noise. When you look at the corners, if you don't hear their name all game, they have had a great game. If they have 0 picks in the season, I don't care. That's me. As a DB coach, I don't care. If you shut them down, I really don't care. People talk about Ennis Rakestraw Jr. early picks, and I'm like, cool. He can be the cornerback 3 if he really wants to be. He can come in and get picks as a quarterback 3. I want somebody who can actually cover. Well, that's a person.
No, okay. It's fair, especially as a guy that's supposed to be our CB1. So I just threw something together just to see how it would turn out. But if you think based on the board, we could wait a little bit longer. The problem is you had 3 cornerbacks that you kind of liked. Tampa was your least favorite of the bunch, I think. Now there's only 2 left, so we could have one of them go quickly. Do you
Okay,
want to slide
so
down a little bit more, or do you want to go ahead and pull the trigger on a trade with the Panthers where we give them next year's first, fifth, and sixth for this year's 39th and 65th?
did Nate Wiggins go in the first?
No. Oh, Wiggins. Let me see. Yes, he did.
Yeah. Okay, so
yep, Wiggins is gone.
So we're looking at Kamari, Lassiter, Samry Still,
Mm-hmm.
and TJ Tampa. Okay.
Well, no, Tampa got Tampa got drafted.
Sorry, Tampa got taken. So
your gent is still there.
Ennis Rakestraw Jr.
The guy that you
I'm willing.
Yeah,
I'm willing to let it slide a bit more.
Okay.
If you feel like as
I'm good. I'm good
if
there.
If Washington haven't taken a quarterback, then it gets interesting. But I'm assuming they have.
Washington took a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
So do you want to go down to Green Bay?
They're going to likely take. National, they got wide receivers in the free agency, didn't they? Yeah, I think we can wait at least until Green Bay. Green Bay like trading back too.
Oh no, you're right. This is trading. Look at me getting all mixed up. Let's see. So we can't get here. We'd have to do like the next year's first and fourth and fifth to get this year's.
You want to double. So you're essentially saying you don't want to touch this year's picks with this strategy, yeah?
We can for sure. But like you kind of said before, I don't really see the value in packaging the seventh rounders until we get later in the draft.
It's just more trying to keep. I'm going Madden mode in my head, and I just don't trade round one picks unless it's for an established player. But that's just
gotcha.
But this is me living in the dreamland that is Madden.
And it is a question of how do you value this draft class? Because I really think there are some guys that, like, for example, one of the guys that I would love to see available at 58 is Jenkins. If he's there, that's a guy that feels like a no-brainer to me. And I want to make sure we have the draft capital to get him. So that's where I struggle with. If we've got that we already have Minnesota's first, and Minnesota is a team that's going to be starting a rookie quarterback that might struggle. So I'm more apt to get rid of our first. Yeah, or Sam Darnold. So I'm okay giving away our first, knowing that we also have that influx of back picks as well with the compensatory stuff.
You know what? You've convinced me. Let's book it in, man. And let's see what flies off the board before we get there.
I got to add something in there. So let me see the fifth. Unless we want to do like, we can do 177. Okay. Do you want to do 177 or do you want to do like the fifth for next year?
Yeah, because
we have
two
sixes and 2 7s.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, we'll do it right here. Good. Did that not go through? What just happened? Hang on.
Good. So we've got a pick of the corners.
Yeah, it didn't go through, it looked like, though. So let's see. Let's see why.
Okay. I mean, if we were in real life, I'd be saying let's go down even more, but let's book that in.
Let's see.
58, yeah.
There we go. That's why I hit resume draft. My bad. Offer trade. And we got it. Oh my gosh. So this would be tough for me. This would be real freaking tough, man. It's
so where's the 58?
4 of the guys that you really liked are here still.
Yeah. How is Bo Nix still there? Oof. Okay. Right. So we've got this pick, 58, 69. Let's take the center. Or wait, sorry. Let me ask the GM question to the GM.
Okay.
What's your replacement value like here? So if you weren't to take Fraser, I feel like you'll have a guy. Do you have a guy?
I got I've got a guy, and it's a guy that's been kind of rumored to us. It's I like Cedric Van Pran has come up as a guy that could be potentially a late round value. I like Beaux Limmer quite a bit. The weird thing about Beaux Limmer for me is he came out a week or two ago saying he doesn't really want to play center. He wants to play guard. So I really like Beaux. I don't know if he's the guy we want to like hang our hat on, and that shook me a little bit. Van Pran could be an option. I've heard he'd be a decent scheme fit for what we're trying to do. But if you were to tell me we can...
Let's think about it this way. How many shots do we have to get a center value-wise? Here, we've got 3 picks, right?
Yes.
I feel that's good
3.
enough. Yeah, because you get Beaux Limmer borderline. So you've got the 58, 69. If you don't take a 41, you've got a 58, 69, 105. Like for me, the biggest problem is the drop off in corner hits quite a cliff. So I'm thinking I'm going to take Ennis Rakestraw Jr. here. Because
so you would pass on Mike, even though he knows the system.
I love him so much. The only thing I can think of, the only thing that holds me back is the size in playing NFL Apex. Like, he's light even for college Apexes. Now, Michigan coach him so that like size doesn't matter, but that's college. You know, wide open spaces, speed matters more. Like, he's going to be facing tight formations. You know, oof.
And if you make, well, the crazy thing, Ryan, is if you make this pick and you are Jim Harbaugh, you might send Mike on a fall to your next pick, because teams might wonder, that's Jim's guy. Why didn't he pick Mike? That's an interesting dynamic there too, I think.
We're going Galaxy spread levels. Mastermind. Get them both. Get them both. To be fair, there is also... This is the first year, I've been saying this quite a lot, this is the first year where there are people who have had their full college experience purely playing nickel. And there is so many in this class. You got on this board, you got Max Melton there. He's played inside quite a lot. Andrew Phillips, you know, Jerry and Jones, Kris Abrams-Draine, like, these are all slot guys. And there's also some safeties that have been listed as slots as well. So you have your pick of them. It's just obviously Henry still. This is how good Jim Harbaugh and Jesse Minter thought he was. They took their outside corner off in formations where they didn't need a slot. They took their outside corner off and played Henry still out there. What is he? He is listed a very tall, 5'10". No, he's not. He's 5'9". He's me. I'm 5'9", and I call myself 5'10". So
now, does the presence of Asante Samuel make him very dispensable to you? Is that part of the equation, that we do have one guy already that's smaller stature, that is already playing primarily on the boundary, already seems like he'd be a better fit in a traditional slot role, but is in the boundary because in Staley's scheme he wasn't kind of.
If you're talking about size,
run coverage.
Oh yeah, he
just by size, yeah.
But he played first game and a half in the slot, and they saw enough. I don't know what they saw in training camp that fooled them otherwise, but yeah, he was not designed to be within the box. No, they're totally different players. So Henry still is physical, hard-nosed, not afraid, as well as being technically sound. They're actually going to be more polar opposite players, because Henry still kind of struggles when he's deep. He doesn't really like, he does. That's not where he excels. He doesn't cover a lot of ground in those areas, but he's still really good. Whereas Asante Samuel, that's where he, lives and dines. So yeah, I'm going to be bold and say we're so desperate for outside corner, so desperate. We have Asante Samuel Jr., Leonard, Fulton, who I love that in the press conference, Ben Hoover and Jim Harbaugh talked about, the first words of their mouth was like, "Yeah, we're going to fix that soft tissue stuff going on with him." And I'm like, right, I don't know if he's going to start. So yeah, I'm going to take my CB2 at pick 41. That's value.
Wow. All right, Rakestraw it is. I like it. Is that how you say it, Rakestraw? We're just going to talk about how to say names this whole time.
That's
pronunciation. All right, let's.
Okay,
Jenkins is gone.
I saw them all go.
Oh. Everybody. Okay. That's tough.
Let's think about wider strategy here. So we've gone wide receiver, we've gone corner. Yeah. We got to find a big man. Either side.
We got to what?
We got to find a big man.
Yeah.
Lineman on either side of the ball, interior defense. Who we got left? Ooh.
One of your favorite guys. We're in trouble here, man.
Yeah, we are in trouble there.
You could go early on one of the stud running backs if you want. Tight end, you've got
not with another pick.
Time. You got somebody in your mind already?
What, tight end?
No. I said we could go running back early, and you said not with this other pick. I thought is what you said. What were you saying? So is there somebody you like?
We got 69. Like, for me, the running back class is weird. No other way to put it.
Yeah.
I've never seen a class where it's like no guys on the first 2 days, and then like 8 guys early day 3. Like, so I feel like there's going to be quite a lot to pick from. Let me see the offensive lineman. So tackle and center.
So I'll show tackle real quick, and then I'm able to go IOL.
Okay.
I don't know much about these guys.
Okay, if we go up to the top, if that's the guy I think it is. No, that's not the guy I think it is. I was thinking of the guy from BYU. I guess he's gone.
Is that Kingsley or whatever?
Yes. Yeah. So Mattia, yeah. So we've got Patrick Paul and Kieran. Patrick Paul is huge, man. Oof, big lad. I don't even know if he plays left or right, though. Only question. And then we got, I think here.
I don't know, man. This is a tough one.
This is our first curveball. I don't know.
This is I don't know if you saw. Curveball. I know you like this guy. I kind of want to go trench here too, but I mean, at the value for a guy that could come in.
So something about Minter's defense that I've talked about quite a lot is just the sheer volume of linebackers and the massive difference in the profiles of all of them that he needs. He needs 3 distinct type of linebackers. So you've got your inside thumper, Denzel Perriman, that's starter check there. Then you've got your athletic outside guys who can both, go sideline to sideline. And then but they've also got to be able to step down to the line and edge rush. So that's their really unique trait. And then you've got your hybrid guys who are willing to go inside. So they've got to be big enough to play your 3 tech on passing downs and drop off into coverage. So they've got to be super athletic, and that's more where I see Henley's like the outside guy. We don't have the guy that can bang. So P that guy. Junior Colson is that guy, was that guy for Michigan, and is my linebacker 1. So I kind of like it.
I feel like it feels a starting hole.
Mm-hmm. And we got more picks. It's the beauty of it. And also the drop off. So Edrin Cooper is the only other one I would take out of that group at this range. Like the guy from Notre Dame, I'm not going to try. he should not be that high. Oh no, he can move at college level. He cannot move at pro level. So yeah, in my opinion, Junior Colson, like, I'm just trying to think the other positions. You said tight end was awful right now, right? What was left?
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at value at this point and
Okay.
looking at Ben or
Value-wise,
Theo late.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes, we're aligned there. Ben or Theo.
Yeah.
You
And
know him. Yeah.
I even like Tip late. Like Tip is a guy
I
that's
have
been
not seen him.
he gets a lot of credit for being in an offense that was really focused on just having him in as a blocker. But when he did release for routes, he did a yeoman's job, but should have a higher potential if he's utilized more.
Okay.
So as far as a
Kind of
guy
like
that
Dawson Knox when he was at Ole Miss, I think he got like 8 passes.
honestly,
ever.
yes,
Like,
yeah, yes, we could get him in the 6th as a guy that's kind of what maybe what they wanted Trey McKinney to be, but they drafted
Okay.
Trey in the 3rd. and he
let's
could develop into what they wanted Trey to be. Sorry, is that
not
a curse
reminisce
word?
on dark times. So yeah, okay. So yeah, we've got tight end and running back that we're going to come back to.
Mm-hmm.
Defensive
Wide
interior is
receivers
not
okay.
looking- Yeah.
Who amongst where are you going to go in defensive interior? Do you think who is a target at what round?
Oof. I mean, either of the LSU guys are good value. And if you go, I think there was another name I liked. Leonard Taylor too. But there's a lot of guys is similar sort of range in terms of their value to the team. We're not going to get anyone explosive this high up. So I feel like let's look. The only other say I was going to say, do you want to look at safety, see what's left? Like, I don't think it should have been. I don't think any should have been taken, or very few anyway. Okay. See, Kalen Bullock could be the guy. He's the right type of profile to roam at the top. And just keep. Oh wow! I've just seen the name, and I still don't understand why anyone. Cole Bishop might be the most underappreciated guy in the draft. I saw Jim Nagy, the president of the Senior Bowl. He raved about him, and you just turn on his tape, and it's just unbelievable. I think literally within the first 5 plays of the first game that I watched, I'll have to remember what it was. He either got a tackle or broke up a pass. All 5. Like, it was just crazy. Like, he's just everywhere. And I'm talking like he can come down from up top or play. He's just so versatile and so smart and aware. So, but if a mock draft machine is telling me he's not going to go until later, I'm not going to take him until later. Like.
Well, yeah, and we've got enough. Now we've got some guys beyond in like the mid to late day 3 that we're comfortable getting at our defensive interior, which is a spot I really wanted us to hit. I'm bummed that we don't have an impact guy there because I think that's something our defense needs desperately. But the way this is shaping up, I think we're starting to see kind of a path that we can take in this draft. I think right now we're in agreement that given how we've handled this thus far, because we didn't trade back in the first, we're not going to hit every hole that we want to hit, but Junior Colson's the best right now for where we're at.
Absolutely. And now the picks come a bit quicker, don't they? So yeah.
Well, we've already kind of played out what we want to see happen in our head, right? We kind of know where everyone's falling now. Is this where you see yourself picking a running back? Because we know that Jaylen Wright's somebody they're looking at.
And so
Marshawn Lloyd.
I did the running back class yesterday. I have to say that there are some players that you can, and PFF are a bit more aligned with my thinking. But Jaylen Wright's RB 1 or 2. So it depends on your type. Obviously, the issue is his volume of touches and his production. I think he got, against anyone that was remotely good, he got 8 touches a game. And then he got like 17 touches a game max. And I'll hold my hands up and just say, I don't really understand why. Josh Heupel confuses me as a coach. He's electric. And not only that, he's 5'11". Is it 5'10" or 11? He's probably said so on there.
They have him
210,
11, yeah.
but he looks lean, so he can add more. There you go, 5'11". He can add more than 210 too, but he's not only lightning, he is smart, he is technical. He sets up block, well, he's starting to set up blocks. He's still not there because he's, there. I'm surprised Trey Benson is so low. He doesn't have a lot of wiggle. But you know what?
Well, and this is what you were talking about, Ryan. They are clumped. We have a clump right here. I'm personally,
and I don't know if they're going to last till 105. And also, you've got to think about running backs as a team, right? Mm-hmm. There are no 3 down backs anymore. The teams who have 3 down backs lost them all in free agency this year. So, so they don't exist. Or if they do exist, they're going to be battered and bruised within a few years. So you've got to think of who we've got right now. We've got Gus Edwards, He's the hammer. He is there is a hole there. I'm going to hit that hole, and you're going to have to try and stop me. But he's also he's got better feet than that. I'm simplifying. Trey Benson is very much like Gus Edwards, except he's more explosive. So for me, the pairing is Jaylen Wright all day. The other one that I find excited is Marshawn Lloyd. Again,
I was such a light. You and I are like right here with that. I was thinking the same thing. It's either right, or you accept the fact that you're trading down and grabbing Lloyd. But you can still get Lloyd potentially if we pick right here. If you want to add 2 running backs to the stable.
I'm not going to add 2 running backs to the stable. I don't, especially not ones close together. I prefer if they went the Baltimore Ravens route and just found 3 guys in the undrafted free agents who are freaks of nature and just find which one to play football. So So I'm going to be saying that I don't want to touch running back at this pick. I don't know how you feel about that.
Wow. Okay. I thought you were going to want to go right for sure. Okay. Let's take a look at what else.
Okay. Man, there are a lot of wide receivers still on the board that I did not think that there would be. Okay, so if we go by our positions of need, so obviously running back, we've got our wide receiver, we've got a linebacker, we've got a corner. Now, this might be the secondary coach in me speaking, but if you go on corner or safety, if you click on either of them, if I just pause at the top there, Andrew Phillips is Mike Sanristill's replacement in terms of he is that guy who is stepping up into that role, into the apex role, who has been designed to be there. He is very fluid, but he's also unafraid, like you need an apex player to be. You can see if you go to a snaps by alignment down to the bottom left, you're going to have to scroll right down for us because we're in the way. Look at that.
Oh, what am I?
Like, look at the snaps by alignment. Like,
Yeah. There we go.
He's everywhere. Yeah, he does genuinely lines up off the edge sometimes, same as Sanri still does. And he's smart. You can see him pointing out plays as they're developing, directing traffic. He sees the motion, he targets it. I think he's a really, really smart player and a good pick because he automatically fills that slot role. But it's double dipping. It's double dipping in the third round.
Double dipping. Double dipping's okay. So do you like him more than Renardo Green?
I do, yeah. I would do. DJ Gibbs is a really nice. So he is someone that is. I feel like people will watch tape, and if they don't understand what quarters is and how it's run, they won't understand why he's ranked this highly. But he runs quarters better than pretty much any other cornerback in this class. Maybe Nate Wiggins is the only one that does it better. His reads are electric and fast, and he's long and can get to breakups too. So he's a good pick if you're going to go outside. But that means that we've got Fulton, Samuel Jr. and Rakestraw Jr. 3 outside guys already. I feel like that's enough. And then you can obviously get depth. We've got Dean Leonard as well. So yeah, it's good depth. So then you have to say, is it worth taking Andrew Phillips now or Kalen Burke? Oh, I knew you'd do this.
So we can try to refill some of what we lost by doing something like that.
Does 1-2-2 get us a big player though, considering how congested our picks are at the top of the fourth?
It doesn't get us that much that we already don't have a chance at getting.
We got three offers, right?
We have 3 offers.
No, we don't trade with the Raiders. Next.
We'll disagree on that one later, potentially.
This is what I wanted to see. 2 bunched together picks. So we got to add something to get there.
I would do that.
Yeah.
Let me see. Any of these? Yeah, I would do any of these. Then give me a sprinkle. You want to do that?
Yeah, let's do that. If we can't decide, and there's a lot of guys on the table, perfect time to trade down. Want to see?
Phillips went.
Okay.
But hey.
Oh, and the
lovely
2
consolation.
Okay. So we and the safety that we wanted went as well, but there are others. There are always others.
Wait, did he?
No, sorry.
No, we Cole Bishop, baby. Okay. We got Cole Bishop.
Cole
We're
Bishop
good.
and Kalen Bullock as well. So yeah,
we got Cole Bishop tucked in our back pocket.
Let's book this one in then. So if you want to talk through the running back class in general, we can do, but I feel like I might have drained on quite a while already.
No, I think we got the running back. I think we got the running back class pretty down. The only others we didn't really cover are Estime and Allen.
I'm so far out on those 2. I'm so far out.
I like Estime based on his tape. His combine testing is concerning.
Yeah, I mean, there are a couple of plays where I'm like, you surprised me. Like that play where he was against Clemson, where he hurdled his own guy, and then he went another 20 yards, and then he hurdled the free safety, and then he carried on going. That was pretty impressive. But he's got nothing left or right. Both of them, like Allen, again, they're just, I'm going through an open hole, and I'm going to hit the first thing that hits me, and I'm going to fall forward. But for me, that's not my style of running back. I want Jaylen Wright.
Let's get it. I love it.
Now, the only thing I don't know is because in my head, I just go next pick. What have we done so far? Let's just recap on what we've taken so far in terms of.
I hate that PFF doesn't do this.
No, we have to remember. So we have gone Marvin Harrison Jr., Ennis Rakestraw Jr. Junior Colson.
Colson.
And so I think
Jaylen. Yeah.
I think we're now at the point where we have to pick a center.
And Van Prant just went, which is interesting.
We live and we learn.
Let me see. Don't start with Alanis Morissette with me, because I will. Watch out. It's my girl. So Beaux Limmer. Okay. This is a little early for Beaux, but I don't hate it.
It's not, though. It's not, because look at the drop-off after this.
Yeah. Yes. And if we get Beaux, he's ranked so low. I still want to get Zach Zenter.
I don't understand why he's ranked so low. Every time I turn on Michigan's, I watched Blake Corum earlier today, and I'm like, who is 65? Why is he blowing everyone off the ball? Like,
it's got to partially
pulling. He is. I know his injury, but he's a guard. They all have those big old braces on their legs. Like, it's kind of their staple. A good look.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see him get overdrafted by these consensus boards by Harbaugh, because Harbaugh loves him so much, and lo and behold, he ends up outperforming what we were considered to label as an overdraft, if that makes sense. Like, if they get him in the 4th when everyone else is saying he's going in the 5th or 6th, he very well might be a very above average starter at this next level. I don't know. That's just how I feel about it. I think
I just still see him
reacting to the injury.
I still see him as a guard, though.
As a guard. Oh no. Yeah. I'm sorry. I was saying, Ryan, if we're talking
about what do we do here, I think we take Beaux.
Yeah, I was saying if we take Beaux, I'm still interested in getting Zach in that guard spot potentially as a depth piece for us later in the draft if we have the room.
Did you see the photo of Zion?
Well, he's a starter. I'm more concerned about the right
but
side.
did you see the photo of him?
Oh yeah, he looks great. He looks great.
I'm worried about his first random drug test. Like, cause
his first. God.
He's jumped up in size, bro. Jumped.
Yeah.
Didn't he get in trouble at one point? I can't remember.
No, I don't think he's ever gotten a PED suspension, at least at the NFL level. But he came in as a lean and built dude. Like it didn't jump out at me too much. Just like, oh, my guy's been doing the work. But who knows? Oh man, we lost both of our what was it, Clemson guys that were in here?
No, the LSU guys.
The LSU guys, that's right. Are they still? No, they're still here. They're still. I just had Edge in there as well. So they're still a ways off.
Okay, yeah, this is where we've got time.
We still have some time, depending on who you like there.
Yeah, I'm still on the Benson or Theo Johnson. Theo Johnson gives us something we don't have. He's got what was he? I think he originally was the 10.00 RAS score guy, but I think he's gone down to 9.99.
That's insane.
Down to 9.99. Okay.
Now we do, but we already filled that boundary spot unless we want to pop Asante into the slot. So Kris Abrams is a guy, Abrams-Draine or Draine, or however you say it. He could be a guy that fills that role, I think, as you were saying. He played are we okay at cornerback?
We've got Jasir. I feel like I'm more obsessed with getting a safety on the books. And then we've taken Beaux. I just don't want to lose Colbert. We've got 3 picks within his range. I think
it's early, but it's not too early. I'm stopping you there. We're doing it. If you're that high on Cole, we're not going to risk it. We're doing it.
I'm fine. Oh, we can double dip on running back. Oh, Marshawn Lloyd's still there. No.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
hold me back.
If we have that option with these late picks, fourth round and on. If you get a guy this
is the strategy that frustrated the hell out of me with Telesco. He never thought, okay, I've got my 7 picks. Let's get to a point where there's a lot of guys I like on the board. He would just grab the first one he wants. It's quite ridiculous. The Ravens' history, they do the exact opposite. They're like, there's a few guys we like here. Let's trade down as many times as we can and keep moving. Leonard Taylor here is an option. Interior guy. Flex in terms of his position across the inside, which is a good thing to have. So we're mainly targeting defensive interior, tight end, and then safety.
Malik Washington would be kind of crazy
safety
too. Malik Washington.
I haven't watched him. What's he like?
He's just a fun, shifty underneath guy. He's a explosive, smaller receiver that would complement Marvin well.
That's a nice pairing then. And we do need that fourth. We do need a fourth. Like Darius Davis, awesome.
He's
guy.
Probably he's what you heard me want Darius Davis to be all year last year.
He's a true slot. We don't have a true slot. Okay,
so that's an option too.
I'm going to trust you here, I think, with this one, because we're in a bit of a luxury right now.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's go. You're comfortable with our cornerback room right now? Because that's the other thing that's very upgradable that we have an answer for.
And then we've also got a tackle conversation. I'm more of a leave Trey Pipkins alone for a year with a better set, with a better coaching tree behind him and a better center to arrange. I don't think he did as bad as people said. So I'm aboard.
No
tackle concepts. Push that.
I'm for that, Ryan. I am for station somebody that great over Trey, which I think is in that conversation if we trade back, but in the first. But I'm not pushing for one in rounds 2, 3, or 4 unless there's somebody that we've scouted that we feel very, very confident in. It's more of a luxury pick to me, paired with that other conversation we've had about, is there a trade partner for Trey that happened to get signed by a rival team if we were to pick up a tackle? Because I do think we could pick a tackle if we trade back and then dish Trey to Tom Telesco and recoup a little bit of draft capital by doing so. It's a little kind of situation, but I'm not going to push for a day 3 tackle just to fill a need that we don't really have either. I'm all for you there, buddy.
And also we got the one next year, and if that is an early pick, then that's your tackle. I don't know the tackle class next year, but that's where you target.
So that's our question. Do we want to go cornerback, or do we want to go gadget or slot? I should say slot receiver, not gadget.
We should go slot. It was slot. Oh, sorry, slot cornerback. I thought we went to, so it's either slot cornerback or slot receiver. You're going to make that. Actually, hang on. We got both. Unless the Falcons take our guy and they're going after a cornerback. So we got 2 picks in a row here. Well, basically.
Yes.
So let's take the slot corner and then we'll take Washington after that. Oh, and
we're going to kind of hope that Theo's on the board.
Ben or Theo, are they going to be on the board? This is part of the draft game. We're gambling.
But now we have AJ Barner and Tip Riemann in backup if we need them, which I actually feel okay about.
They're both different types on there. They're both big blockers who can catch, who can run routes. Like they are both within that sort of profile. But they're not going to be, they're not going to be getting us multiple catches per game like the others. So I feel like we go slot corner and then slot receiver with these 2.
I like it. Roll the dice in the tight end. Let's go.
And there you go. So they did take.
But we didn't go DI either, though.
We're gambling. We're gambling.
We're gambling.
Wait, pause it. Oh, it's too late. Come on.
Is that who you wanted, McKinley? Oh, no, Leonard Taylor.
He was the first guy, but then we've still got the 2 LSU players.
We still got the LSU guys.
Okay, Ben Sinnott went. So then it's just if Theo Johnson.
We still got Theo. So right here.
Well, I've heard really good things of Darlene Hooker, but I haven't watched it myself.
So I've got, or you've got.
Okay, so we still got Maasson Smith.
Still got Mason. Anybody else here that you like?
I have not got that far down on defensive interior. Tyler Davis was a guy like 2 years ago, had so much hype, and it's just completely faded. So
this is where I would trade back up. I would say we take a look at Carolina's got 2 picks. They don't need both of those picks. I would consider something like that at this point. We've kind of addressed everything that we've been looking for.
Yeah, you're right. You know what, though? You know what? Like,
this would be our 10th. This would be our 10th pick. I would be okay with that personally. And then we reload with 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2 6s, 2 7s. Yeah. So
we've gone to address every need. So
that's how I feel. That's how I feel, my man. So let's do it. Let's just lock in. You want Theo?
Yeah, I want Theo. Athletic freak, and that's what we need.
We're gonna get roasted. We're gonna get roasted for this. Who's done a draft where they've traded away both of their 6th and 7th picks? But hey, we did it. So Maasson Smith.
Someone's got to do it.
I would feel so good about having Minnesota's first next year, personally, without having to trade out of our first spot. That's pretty incredible.
Especially
like we got
if they have-
Marvin and we got Minnesota's first.
Especially if we're forced to they're forced to trade JJ.
Yes. Oh gosh, that would be brutal.
To the second less fancy beer. They're not going to grade. I don't think they'll grade our draft very well, but let's see.
What's going on, guys? This one ran a little long, so we're splitting it in two. The trade down draft will be following this one. We're going to include the PFF kind of messed up and wasn't able to give us our score and draft recap. So we'll have our draft picks at the bottom in the description of this one and the next video. So let us know what you guys think in the comments below. Thanks for watching.